absolutely massive construction as well as automation. Let's take a look at Satisfactory.
Okay, I made it, I'm here. We got it. Come on, Mike. Alright, I got my food. PC gaming. Let's go. Is this Space Engineers? Satisfactory, okay.
Joining me on the stage to talk about it is the game director at Coffee Stain Studios. It's Oscar Gilsayan. Come here, Oscar.
It kind of does seem
Thanks
like
for joining us today.
Thank you.
a little
Now, Oscar, I
space
just want to begin right
engineering.
away by asking, what is Satisfactory all about?
Satisfactory is essentially about building these huge automated factories. So you play as an engineer that's been sent from
Like
Earth,
Factorio
to this alien planet,
plus
and you're going to build this enormous machine.
Space engineers?
Into that at the end of the trailer there.
Yeah.
And to build that, you need a whole ton of parts, which you need to build machines that will make them for you. So you'll start out pretty simple with a few machines, and then you'll just expand and expand and expand until you finally need to start cutting down trees and replace them with like more convenient concrete.
And you know, for people who haven't played this type of game, can you give me an example of what producing a more advanced resource might look like?
Right. After a while, you'll need to create something more advanced, like a computer, for example. And at that point, you'll have some copper stuff set up, your wires and cables. But to make plastic, you need to get some oil. So you need to go out and you need to find this oil, build some oil pumps and oil refineries, and set up a transport with self-driving vehicles between the outpost and your factory.
Yeah, and I want to talk about that scale because there's a lot of games where you build a house or a small town. How much area are we talking about where all your factories will exist?
Oh, this factory will grow enormous. The main part, which will probably be the biggest, will start spreading more and more and more. Or in some cases, we'll have players just building these massive, tall buildings with factory floor upon factory floor. But including the resources that you need to gather from basically all around the map. Yeah. So you'll have vehicles driving all over.
Now, I want to ask about the first-person perspective because these types of games typically are top-down. Why
You guys aren't hearing me eat, right?
We want it to feel like the
Please
player
God.
is the one building the stuff.
Yeah.
And you know, when you've built a bunch of stuff, and you can see these enormous buildings, these structures towering above you. But also when you go out and explore, you'll be the one, like, you go through the underbrush and in the jungles and whatever.
I mean, in the trailer, it even looked like there's a lot more to explore, like different environments and biomes.
Yeah. The map is, we made a point to make it big and varied.
Yeah.
And it's about 30 square kilometers in size, so it's
All right,
kind of
cool.
enormous.
Wow. And, you know, one final question. I saw multiple engineers there. How does multiplayer work?
Oh, it's a co-op game. So you'll start up a server and play with your friends.
Great. Now, tell us, how do we get our hands on this game?
So we got a closed alpha planned in the coming months. So you can sign up for the alpha at satisfactorygame.com. And yeah, then you'll know.
Well, great. Oscar, thanks for joining me on stage once again. That is satisfactorygame.com.
Sean loves his cue cards.
Frank, I understand you have.
Didn't
our
he
very
lose his
first
cue
indie
cards?
title
Like his
today.
We do
friggin'
indeed, Sean.
hotel
Okay,
room
here's
got
something we
straight
love
jacked
about
up.
the PC platform. It's such fertile ground for creative ideas from small teams. NeoCab is an emotional survival game set in the future about gig labor, tech disruption, and the experience of being a driver for hire. Perhaps the last of your kind. From the brand new indie studio Chance Agency, let's watch the first gameplay trailer for NeoCab.
Wait, was Satisfactory available now? Oh, it's alpha. Cyberpunk Uber Driver Simulator.
Now, our next game, believe it or not, is in the Battle Royale genre. Of course, it's E3 2018, what do you expect? We have several Battle Royale games we're going to be talking about today because the Battle Royale format is very simple and very flexible. Players play in an ever-shrinking space until there's one last standing. So developers have already been doing all kinds of different explorations of what this could possibly be. And our very first Battle Royale game that we'll be introducing today has up to 1,000 concurrent players. It's from Automaton Games. Let's look at Maverick's Proving Grounds.
All right, Maverick. Oh, hello, Panic. Am I supposed to get you in? Hello, sir.
Hello. Do you want me recording or just gonna take?
You don't have to record yet.
Sweet.
The only time that we're gonna record is if you stick around afterwards and we do a recap of stuff. I've done recaps solo up to this point, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, no, I literally I just got back last night and then I just got home, so I'm dying to do to some conferences. I have not gotten to watch one of them yet.
Joining me on the stage to talk about Maverick's Proving Grounds is the CEO of Automaton Games.
Can you turn up your output on your end at all?
How about now?
Yeah, that's good.
James, welcome. Thanks for joining us.
Switch over to the actual E3
Now, I
stream.
want to immediately ask, what about Maverick's Proving Grounds distinguishes itself from other Battle Royale games?
Yeah, well, as you said, it's a very popular formula, and you know that last man standing kind of game type.
Do you want me to link you the one that I'm watching specifically?
Maverick's is really about.
I'm literally just watching the one on Twitch right now.
400 players before.
Here.
We're sort of
I'm
super
not
excited
there,
to
so
talk
let
about
me.
our 5-man squad mode being 1,000 players, but really it's about depth as well. It's about the fact that that environment is even a bigger step. The simulation.
Let me know when
those
you're
elements
watching.
Sort of combining together.
Yeah, I want to zoom in right on 1,000 players.
I just wanted to refresh to make sure we aren't
shift the dynamic from the say 100 that we're typically used to.
at a scene.
Well, it's really about combining scale with the depth of simulation, so the fact that together.
So this is
what you have
Maverick's
is a
Proving
landscape where you're making
Grounds,
decisions.
1,000 player BR.
Because you hinted at that twice now. Like,
Look,
what do you
I
mean
get,
by
you
there's a lot more
wanting to go
information in the
big,
environment
but
for players to process?
let's
So take
go
a
with like
concrete example,
150
right?
to 200
let's say
maybe.
players walking through the map, they'll be leaving footprints, they'll be displacing foliage, like grass bending. But siege-style gameplay in houses, that's like a lot of destruction systems that sort of together make the map much more of a dynamic environment.
It's like a recent history of who could have been here.
Yeah.
I want to ask about what more is in store for Maverick's Proving Grounds. I understand that this has a lot more out-game features than someone might expect.
Yeah, so it's not just that session-based gameplay. You enter the game through the capital, which is our sort of persistent social hub. So we draw from the MMORPG side of things. It's really it's a full world, not just a map. So it's got a persistent game type side to it too. Yeah. But really it's about bringing this all together into something which makes a much richer MMO experience.
Now, where can people go to find out more?
Well, we've just launched our site right now, so if you're interested in signing up for the closed beta, you can do that now at mavericks.gg/closed-beta. And actually, if you're registered this week, you'll get special in-game content for free from E3.
Well, awesome.
And we have only 100,000 slots for the first group signing up, so that will give you some beta access, but I'm sure there are a lot more people than that on the stream, so quickly do that if you're interested in.
Well, James, thanks so much for joining us once again.
100,000 people would be 100 instances of the game running at a time, right?
Our very next game helps showcase the extraordinary power of
Well, theoretically.
Frankie, tell us about it.
It does indeed, Sean. On PC, we don't just
And that's
play
on the
what's given to
17th,
us.
did you say?
We mod games to make our own
think so.
experiences. And for many developers, modding is a way to turn a hobby into a career. The Forgotten City is the perfect example. It's a standalone game that's a reimagining of a wildly successful mod. In fact, the first mod in history to win a National Writers Guild Award. For the first time ever, here's gameplay from the Forgotten City.
The PC gaming show is always so dense.
I'm so
What is this
sorry
a mod
to find
of,
me
though?
like this. And worse, that you'll suffer
I actually
the
don't
same
know.
fate I did.
They remastered a mod.
I've spent a
Effectively,
lifetime
what I'm
in this
getting here.
place.
They basically made a
Ancient
full game out of a
underground
mod,
city.
yeah.
Its existence long forgotten, searching for a way out. All I found is a window into the past. If even one person here commits a sin, everyone will die. I tried to set things right, but whatever I did, it took me right back to the beginning. It's all up to you now. Go back, investigate, talk to everyone, help them out if it'll win their trust. Bend the rules as far as you can. Figure out who's responsible for this. And maybe you can do what I never could. Save these people. Save yourself.
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
Huh.
Coming up on the PC Gaming Show, what's next for Killing Floor 2? And an unannounced game from Tripwire Interactive. And now your host, Sean Plott.
Our next game is a blast from the past. It's not a sequel or prequel or remake.
It was like a puzzle adventure with other elements and shit. It was like
at Star
a little bit of a Majora's Mask feel where you have to kind of reset back.
Well, yeah. I think the reset back is just you fucked up.
Formed, its creators uplifted into something beyond our understanding. These beings, now known as the Lexites, left Earth, traveling to multiple planets in our solar system, before vanishing altogether. This is why we are here. Welcome to Star Control, a state-of-the-art international space agency tasked with the exploration of our solar system and the defense of Earth. Here resides the world's brightest minds and greatest technology, brought together by a strong curiosity to discover the unknown. Help us pioneer the future. Join today.
Star Control has accelerated the construction of our new modular deep solar system vessel specifically for this mission. It's the fastest, most expensive ship humanity has ever made, Captain.
I am Chief Viscosity Officer Wimdu of the Taiwan. This
What is this?
It's Star Control. It's an older game that's being redone now. It was really, really popular. It was like a tactic strategy type game.
This is like a remake, remaster type deal?
Yeah, I think there was actually a big lawsuit about this over the past couple of years between Stardock and the original creators. Because like Stardock apparently bought the rights from a different, from like Atari or something, or Activision, I forgot who, or claimed someone. But the original owners claimed that they never owned that company never owned the rights, so it got a whole big deal. Because both of them were remaking Star Control.
Oh, awkward.
Yeah.
Joining me to talk about Star Control is the director of production at Stardock, Patrick Shaw. Thanks for joining me on stage today, Patrick.
Yeah, thanks for having me here.
So now just tell us straight up, what is Star Control all about?
So Star Control is an open universe action RPG. You can visit dozens of aliens, hundreds of different
I love how
stars,
matter-of-fact
thousands of
Sean
different
is with everything.
planets,
It's so
and you
funny.
can land on each and every one of them. And when you're driving
So
around
tell
the
me,
planets, you can jump over canyons,
just what is
blast
Star
critters,
Control?
and then you can venture out into the solar system and do ship-to-ship combat with hostile aliens.
And I want to ask, since I know that the story is a big part of this game, with it being open world, how do you make sure that the story
You heard
still
what happened
stays
with them, right?
as the focus?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so we're really
fun.
excited about
Crazy.
the story that we prepared for Star Control.
All
It's
the
funny,
documents
it's
got thrown
creative,
out.
but also has some dark, sinister
All I
side
could think
to it.
of was not his
However,
cue
what we're very
cards.
proud and very excited about is we have an infinite universe. That is, we are fully simulating the entire universe at all times. So even if you're on some podunk little moon in the corner of the universe, the aliens are still moving around the universe, doing their own thing, exploring and interacting with each other.
So it's not just like at a planet, there's the same town whenever you visit it. It depends on how the simulation has driven it forward.
Right, exactly. So this infinite universe is the glue that connects my story, my adventure, to the larger open galaxy.
That's awesome. Now, I know modding is going to be a big part of Star Control Origins. How does the modding work?
So what's your favorite science fiction show?
Probably Firefly.
Yeah, so what would you think of making Firefly Season 2?
Shit, that's a lot of pressure, Patrick. You're putting me on the spot on stage right now, yeah.
We have a week to do it, so. But anyways, in Star Control Origins, you can create your own ships, your own planets, your own galaxies. You can package up your adventures and share them with your friends online.
So someone else can take care of Firefly Season 2. That's up to you. Now, last thing I want to ask about is how multiplayer works.
Right. So in the game, we have ship-to-ship combat, and that turned out to be so popular in our early testing. They're like, we should make this a separate gameplay mode. So we did. We called it Fleet Battles. So you can create your own ships, you build them out of different pieces and parts, you attach different weapons and defenses, and then you go online to play them. You can either play local multiplayer, 2 people on the same machine, or online, ranked or online play.
Where can people go to pick up Star Control Origins?
Well, right now, Star Control Origins is available for pre-order on GOG and Steam.
Well, lovely. Guys, definitely be sure to head over to starcontrolgame.com and check them out on Steam and GOG as well.
And one more thing, we are happy to announce at the PC Gamer Show that Star Control Origins is launching on September 20th, 2018.
Look for it on September 20th.
Sean was not expecting that.
Now, our next game was PC Gamer's favorite game from E3 last year. It is Hunt Showdown from Crytek. Let's take a look at what's coming for Hunt Showdown.
Oh god, this game
just
is a
after
hot
E3.
mess.
How did this win last year's anything? Vintage crossbow. Throwing kniff. Hand crossbow.
Like, if you throw a knife and it knocks someone down that aggressively, I have concerns.
You have some serious throwing power. Well, actually, the knife would just go through you before it would knock you down that hard.
Yeah. Is it just me, or does that look a little janky and outdated already?
I am here with Guy from Skydance, who's here to tell me
it-
why fighting in
well,
massive mech suits is
I'm the wrong guy to
not
ask because I never thought it looked like anything anyway.
anytime soon. Guy, now Hellfire, in fact, sorry, Archangel was originally a single-player narrative game, but Hellfire, this new edition, what changes is that going to make?
Well, players really loved the single-player narrative, but they all kept telling us the same thing. They said, we really want it multiplayer, and we want it off rails.
Did they
And we
completely
kinda
skip
thought,
to a
that's
different
completely
game?
different game. But let's
I
give it a
actually don't
shot.
know.
And so we got a crack team together.
they just jumped to a completely
they put
different
something
game.
really special. We got 4 maps. We got 6 different mechs. Tons of weapons where you could just blast through the environment and other mechs alike. And it's really just an amazing experience. You can zip around in your mech. You can tower
they totally
over
changed
others.
games.
It's just something special that I
And
think you
when
can try right now.
is this coming out of early access? So you just said we can try it right now, but you've got the full version launching soon, right?
Correct. Yeah, it's coming out in July 17th. But you could try it right now if you want in early access. Help us iron out the kinks and break some mechs along the process.
I am no good at ironing out kinks, as I think people at home
Oh,
can
so
see,
this
Guy.
game's
But
called
as
Archangel
a heavy mech woman,
Mech
I
Fi-
can't wait for you to be my light mech
Archangel
wingman in that
Hellfire or
2v2
something.
PvP. So let's take a closer look at Archangel Hellfire.
Let's do it.
Yep.
Yeah, so they totally changed games. So this game sounds more my speed when I started saying mechs.
This game sounded more like my speed when it was no longer about Crytek.
Oh yeah, that's it. Oh, there was this game that NCSoft had a while ago that they just like abruptly canceled, called X-Steel, which I really liked.
Yeah.
I liked that game just because it was like derpy and fun, but they apparently canceled it when they lost the lawsuit with like Richard Garrio or something.
Sherlock Holmes, and it's a
So
delightful
they closed that game. I'm like, what the hell,
mystery.
guys?
It's
Where's
called
my
The
mech
Sinking
combat?
City, and joining me to talk
They're
about
blowing
it is the
through
community
games
manager
at a
Frog
pace
Wares,
where they
Sergey
shouldn't be bringing people
Oganesyan.
out on
Welcome,
stage
Sergey. Thanks for joining me
to
today.
talk about them.
Yeah, you've earned a handshake.
Yeah, you
Welcome
nailed
to
that
the stage.
pronunciation.
I love that you lie to me so kindly. You know, I want to ask right away, the Sinking City, you know, there's a lot of open world third
Take the
person
compliment,
type games.
Sean.
What makes the Sinking City different from what a player might expect?
Well, I mean, The Sinking City is an open-world action investigation game inspired by Lovecraft. And we believe that these 3 elements already make the game pretty unique. And you know, when I say that you can be a detective in a world, in a supernatural world full of mystery and, you know, cosmic fear, like, I really mean it.
No,
because
Sean is quite tall.
investigations are
Sean
really
is
at the
almost as
core
tall as
of
I
the
am.
Sinking City.
Yeah, I mean, I know there's a lot of games.
Sean
in
just
the
makes
open
everyone look
world
short.
genre that are
I think
focused
Sean
on
is like
action, but you
6'4".
say investigation.
No, he's like
is at the
6'5", I
core.
think.
What are investigation mechanics? What does it look like?
I'm trying to
the
remember
first thing you
based on
should
when
know
I
right
met
off
him
the bat
in
is that
person.
We are not going to offer any hand-holding for the player. We will not give you any clear objectives in your diary or, you know, markers on the map telling you where to go or what to do. It's actually up to you to figure that out.
It's close enough
Instead,
that
we will give you information,
I
you know,
can't tell
hints,
who's
evidence,
taller
like clues,
when
crime
I'm
scenes to
standing
examine,
right in front of
people
him,
to
but
talk
I
to,
know I've
suspects
got
to
like
question.
maybe
And
an
we will
inch.
ask you in return to use your
Well,
wits
the
and
thing
your
is, Sean is
intuition
more
to,
normally
you know,
proportioned than
experiment
you
with your
are.
findings.
Everyone
So
is is more normally
find a
proportioned
way
to
how
me.
to progress. And what you should also know is that finding these clues will not
There are
only help
people
you
that were
understand
born
what's
with
going
only
on
the upper
and,
half of their body
get a
that are
better
more in
understanding of the world
proportion
and
than
its
I am.
people, but it will also help you maybe change the course of your investigation.
You know,
Yeah,
you
we're the
mentioned
reverse.
world
Sean is more
itself. I mean,
torso, I'm more
the
leg.
footage that I've seen through the years has just been absolutely beautiful. Talk to me about the world that we're in and what investigation is at the core.
So the game takes place in this fictional city of
So
Oakmont
it's like
in the state of
Indiana
Massachusetts.
Jones meets
You know,
Sherlock
the city which is
Holmes
flooded. There is a
meets
terrible disaster
Cthulhu.
going on, which has claimed like thousands of lives. And also, like, it seems like it awakened frightening monsters.
There could be
which are
worse
around the streets
mashups.
of Oakmont.
No, it
Well,
looks
people
interesting. Like
that live
I
in
didn't
the
even
city,
mean
they
to
are very
knock it. It
different,
actually look like
different social
I do
classes,
like investigation games, but
gangs,
this one kind of looks a little
cultists, poor
janky at
people,
times.
rich
Like
people,
it's like a
but they are all united by fear.
Killing
You know,
Floor
they're
meets
all afraid,
investigation.
maybe except for the cultists, of course. They are all afraid that, you know, for their lives. Because of the flood, because of the monsters. And you know, we actually want to understand what's going on. We want to understand what lies behind this ostensibly supernatural
Swimmers are better when they're all upper body.
Even funny is that while everybody
See
is afraid,
Michael
nobody wants
Phelps.
to leave. But this is kind of a different story.
Yeah.
Because you get that arm
we
strength.
talked a little bit about the story world and how
The
it's
back
inspired
strength,
by
you get bigger
Lovecraft.
back muscles.
What about the game mechanics? You've mentioned the sanity
Way
mechanic
bigger.
in the past.
Indeed, we do have a sanity mechanic which directly
Specifically,
impacts
his lats
gameplay.
are like
You know, when Fury is
wings.
under a lot of stress, when he sees like
He doesn't
something
need a squirrel
supernatural,
suit, he just
something
jumps off a cliff and
disturbing,
goes.
Or even when he's making choices in the story which he's not comfortable with making, you know, he will begin to lose his sanity. He will start to have hallucinations, he will start to hear distorted sounds, which will allow the player to understand that something is actually going wrong. Maybe we need to, you know, step back and do something about that. As of right now, we're
Taking
still
a page
finding
at a
this
Silent
mechanic
Hill.
because we are still
I
looking,
like it.
you know, for the sweet spot between impact on the gameplay and impact on the story.
Since we're almost out of time, I still just have to ask, what are the sweet monsters that we're going to get to see in the game?
Oh, we have different kinds of monsters. We have different kinds of archetypes, you know, with different abilities. And, you know, we actually give you tools. The game is not about fighting monsters. Investigation is the core of the game. But we give you tools to defend yourself. So we give you weapons, we give you skills, we give you even certain, like,
What was the name of this again?
In return, we ask you that you make a decision.
I forgot
because the game
already.
is about making a decision. Ammunition is scarce, and you will have to adjust your
I'm
tactics
like,
accordingly.
I'm trying to eat because I just got out of the Ubisoft conference and I had 3 minutes to heat up my food.
So
And
if
so
you're
I'm not
hungry for
fully.
more, always follow us on
There we go.
Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. This is where we post our updates regularly. Facebook, The Sinking City Game. YouTube, Frogwares. So go there, and like this is definitely the place to go if you want to learn more.
Well, I'm super excited personally.
So it's
to
got a
see
bit
how
of
it turns out.
psychological
Thanks for joining me on
horror-ish
stage,
deal in
Sergey.
there.
The Sinking City. Now, our next game
We need to
is a
get
PC
Sean
title
some
that
shoulder
has only
muscles.
gotten better over the last few years.
Which
I'm
ones?
always
A bit
excited
more.
to hear what they have in store.
Oh, I have that problem now
Frankie is
too.
up on the
I
balcony
didn't
with the
used to, but now if you
developers
put a
of
suit on me,
Warframe.
I'd look like a square.
Well, we all know the PC is
Looks
home
like
to some of
Beaker.
the most devoted
Yeah,
communities
that would be
in
me.
gaming. And one of the best
I don't want to Photoshop him
undoubtedly
looking like
belongs to
Beaker.
Warframe.
That would be mean.
Last year, the game got its
He's already
first
had a bad
overworld
enough week.
update, Plains of
Yeah.
Eidolon, and the next epic cinematic quest is called The Sacrifice. And we've got the exclusive launch trailer for you.
She's actually a really good host. They need to use this girl for more than whatever the fuck this is. Like, she's articulate as hell. I mean, the accent helps, but she's articulate as all hell.
All you want. It won't bring him back.
Ah!
Megan Everett, Community Manager at Digital Extremes, joins me now. Megan, tell me more about The Sacrifice.
So The Sacrifice is the latest installment of our cinematic quest. It continues a story that we started in The Second Dream, continued with The War Within, and then Apostasy Prologue. So at the end of last year, we kind of shattered some hearts and left them with
God,
a bit
I
of a
wish
plot twist, and I'm not going to spoil it for
that
people who want to maybe
the
catch
new
up.
player experience in
But what I
Warframe
can
was
say
about
is that,
800,000
obviously, from the
times
trailer that you
better.
saw, the wait
It's hard
for
to get
Umbra,
into.
The 3-year wait to the Umbra
I tried
Warframe
not
is
that long
finally
ago,
over.
and it's
The creepy
basically
guy
impossible.
at
You
the
have
end
to
of the
hate
trailer
yourself.
there, Ballas, plays a pretty big role in this quest. And again, not going to spoil a lot, but I can say that it's coming this week on PC.
And you guys are actually currently waiting, well, as well as the update, you're working towards TennoCon right now.
Yes, so it's going to be another big year for us, and I'm really excited for it.
Well, let's take a look at last year's event to get an idea of what TennoCon is all about.
What do you think the mega reveal at 10 Live is going to be?
Can you tell me anything about this Umbra thing that's maybe going on or whatever?
I didn't realize there was a whole con for this.
Pretty amazing.
Oh yeah, there's
like, it's a
for a
whole
long
new
time too.
direction for Warframe and all this. You got all these other games coming out, but this one's free.
When's 2018 happening?
Get it started.
I just want them to have the UI that isn't horseshit and just
Given
a home base
the
that isn't
community knows you as Auntie
a
Megan,
Rubik's Cube.
it must be
Just
huge for you to be
fuck.
at
TennoCon is really special for really everyone that works at Digital Extremes. The developers pour their heart and soul into what we do for TennoCon, and I know for me it was literally like the best day of my entire career. I know Rebecca, our community director at home, is watching. But last year when we did the Plains of Eidolon, open world expansion reveal, Reb and I were actually doing that as a live demonstration in front of everyone, and we had practiced it for months, and it went as flawlessly as we could have ever hoped for. And we actually, as people were cheering, it's pitch black on stage. Reb and I look at each other and we just kind of fist pump and both started crying because we didn't crash the demonstration. So if you watch Tenno Live this year, if you're there,
I can't hate on Angry Joe. That dude's out there doing his thing, making his money.
It's a really big
He's
game
doing
for
what
us.
I do,
Very
except he gets
excited
millions of views and I get like
Bring tissues for
680.
yourself, for me, for everyone
So-
involved, because
Why is he angry though?
I'm just. It's probably because he has to wear the same leather jacket every
It
day.
is sold out. How can you watch it online?
So on twitch.tv/warframe, you can definitely check it out. And PC Gamer is also hosting as well on their Facebook and Twitter.
And you get free stuff by watching Twitch?
You do. So if you want to link your Warframe account to your Twitch account, and all you have to do is watch and you get some free stuff.
Fantastic. So that's happening from July 7th, and you'll be able to watch TennoCon live through PC Gamer's Twitch channel and the Facebook page. Thank you, Auntie Megs. Sean, it's over to you.
Thank you, Frankie, and thank you, Warframe. The next name is one I grew up with, Sega. They've become a prolific publisher of Japanese games known
Let's
for their
fucking go.
fully
Give me
featured
some good
ports,
shit, Sega.
especially
You've
beloved by
been
this
you've been
guy
trying your
on the
best.
left.
Sonic Forces 2.
Sega's bringing shining resonance both to PC and console the same day, and Shenmue is going to be coming later this year. They have all sorts of
Shenmue, that
games
Shenmue
coming up.
remake.
Let's take a look at what Sega's got in store.
Or remaster, I should call it. Yeah, Bayonetta on PC, that's a 10 out of 10.
Puyo Puyo Tetris.
Shenmue on PC, that's fire.
Yeah, I think they're ramping up for Shenmue 3 or 2 or whatever they're doing.
Oh boy.
A new Yakuza, it looks like.
Yeah, looks like it.
The Yakuza games were underrated. They were good.
I don't think they were underrated at all. They just people just didn't buy them.
I feel like that's a way to say underrated.
Because, like, from a critical
They were
standpoint, they all
they
did
were
well.
critically acclaimed, but they weren't. They just didn't have market success. Wait, is this like an updated Valkyria Chronicles or like?
That's Valkyria Chronicles 4.
Oh.
So is that like a whole new game that I didn't know existed, or what?
I didn't know there was 4. That's why I was like confused. I'm like, did I remaster another one? Yo man, where the hell is Sonic?
Yakuza 0 is available for pre-order
You know
right
what?
now and will be
I'm
releasing
okay with
on
Sega
Steam
still
in
making
early
games. You know, they're
August. We hope
still
you're
at it.
enjoying the show thus far. We
Well,
have so much more great
they're in that.
stuff
We
to
talked about
come.
in the podcast
Let's
months
see what's
ago.
coming
We're
up
in this like
this year's PC
massive
Gaming Show.
renaissance build internally.
Coming up on the
That's
PC
resulting
Gaming
in
Show,
everything we're seeing right
a new
now.
publisher reveals 3 new games, and the first ever gameplay footage of Overkill's The Walking Dead. And now your host, Sean Plott.
And I'm back.
Yeah, I don't know why they're reminding us that the host is Sean. He's just on screen once every 35 seconds.
Frankie's with him up in the balcony. It's Tripwire.
Sean, if you are anything like me, you probably need to let off steam every once in a while. And I personally can't think of a better way to do it than by
That's not going to get Rule 34'd.
of monstrous enemies. It's kind of either that or pushing the office photocopier out of the window, and I, for one, prefer the option that keeps me and everyone here in a job. With that in mind, I am thrilled to welcome Bill Monk from Killing Floor 2 back to E3.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Got a lot of fans in the audience still. Listen to that applause.
Yep.
They all want to know what the latest from Tripwire and Killing Floor 2 is.
Yep, we've been really busy working on Killing Floor, and we got 4 major updates that are coming out this year. The first one we dropped in March, and we're getting ready to drop the next one really soon.
Coming tomorrow, Bill. What's involved?
Yeah, so we're bringing this summer sideshow back, but this time we're mixing circus freaks with steampunk in a really fun, exciting way. And we have a really cool new system that we're adding. It's called the Weapon
Circus
Upgrade
punk?
System. And with this, there's 73
That
different
sounds like
weapons that we
Gab's
have in our
nightmare.
game, and each one you can upgrade it and make it viable for late play. So it really adds a lot of creativity
clown.
to your loadout. So I'm really excited to get that in people's hands.
So you can make your boy guns big.
Yeah.
Good. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Bill. Let's take a look at the trailer for Treacherous Skies Summer Sideshow.
Summer Sideshow. I'm Sean Connery. Yakuza 0 is $18 on Steam. It must be like a prequel to something. But like, that doesn't make any sense.
Welcome aboard the HMS Queen Victoria, ladies and gents. Ringleader Lockhart speaking to you from, well, someplace very safe, yes. You helped me escape that fray at my beloved Steamland, but now I need your help once again. I've got to get to my island in the channel. Now, listen up. I don't know how, but these blasted circus freaks followed us on board. I think it's time to put on a show. Yes, of daring deeds and horrendous bloodshed. Oh, poor me.
That's what's going for, because it's so random.
It's done, like, really well considering.
Even removing the head. Put these rebellious robots
Well, I mean, it's because like the genre kind of stagnated out, where they're not really making the kind of swarm zombie games anymore.
Yeah.
So Killing Floor has kind of just been like, we'll just keep doing what we're doing. Like, there's no Left 4 Dead 3, there's no other like survival things other than like Vermintide.
They've stayed around long enough. It's come full circle.
Yeah.
Addition to the crew.
Like, their only competitor right now, I think, is Vermintide.
Negotiated her way on board and is set on giving Zen the business. And remember, we'll see you.
The old 4-barrel shotgun.
Fossey, joke for you. Optician says my eyes are okay. I say, then how do you explain my husband?
Now, as is tradition, the content that you
Okay.
just saw will be available tomorrow, including a free weekend for PC this weekend. Definitely check it out with Killing Floor 2. But that's not all that Tripwire has.
That's why
The president of
Tripwire is always so
himself,
popular.
John Gibson, on stage. John, welcome back again.
Thanks, Sean. Pleasure to be here.
Now, I understand that Tripwire is stepping into also doing publishing. What does that entail?
What?
That's right. So, Sean, it's really challenging for developers right now with the thousands of games that are coming out every year.
Yeah.
It's really hard to get noticed. And then you have the traditional publishing deals. So we're giving developers fair deals.
It's not
We're going
Road
to
Rash,
be
Road Rash.
helping them rise above that noise so they can get noticed.
It looks pretty
And
fun.
because of our experience developing our own games and publishing our own games, we're going to help them with marketing, funding, mentoring, feedback to help them succeed.
Yeah, I mean, the game that we have on screen is one of those games. This is Road Redemption.
That is right. I'm happy to announce that we're going to be publishing Road Redemption.
Road
We're going to be helping them grow and
Redemption.
succeed even more on Steam, but also bring the franchise beyond Steam.
Now, I know today you have a world-exclusive new game.
Why not
Hasn't
call
been
it
announced
Road
yet.
Rage? Nobody knows.
Or we roll the trailers.
It's probably already a thing.
Yeah, so we're working with the team at Blindside Games, and they're led by Alex Quick.
Oh, yeah, right.
So if you're familiar with the Killing Floor universe, you know Alex Quick was the modder that created the original Killing Floor mod, which Tripwire worked with Alex to bring commercial. And then Alex went off, assembled his own team, made the game Depth, which was sharks and humans fighting each other, very, very successful. And now it's come full circle. We're working with Alex again, and we're going to bring his all-new game to market.
Well, let's take a look at it right now. World exclusive new upcoming game from Tripwire.
World exclusive.
Close your eyes.
I like the PC gaming conference, even though it's dense,
where the sun
because
is
it's like
bright
publisher
and the beaches
agnostic
are
almost.
white.
Like they're just hyping everything
Waves
up.
filled with southern charm.
Yeah.
The water is as warm as the welcome. So come feel the wind in your sails. Kick back and relax. Enjoy the local cuisine.
Sharknado.
Your dream vacation
The
is
movie.
waiting for you
The
here
game.
on the Gulf Coast.
Here's the cash. The players of the shark.
ManeaterGame.com.
Oh,
now
absolutely.
To book your vacation, operators are standing by.
So hey, John, so you get to play as the shark.
You are the shark. This is an open world action RPG where you play as a shark, or as we
An
like to call it,
open world action RPG.
Oh, nice.
A
Okay,
shark PG.
So do you like upgrade and
God.
improve the shark? Is there like skill trees?
You do. There is a shark skill tree. Really? There is a full single-player campaign. You eat your way through it. You get bigger teeth. You can jump out of the water and snatch people off piers and all of that fun stuff.
I didn't realize this was a power fantasy I needed so badly. Now, where can people go to get more
What is
information about
this?
it?
They can go to maneatergame.com.
All right. I doubt anyone will forget that here. That's maneatergame.com. John, thanks so much for joining me on stage.
All right.
Once
My
again,
pleasure.
all the content that Tripwire
That's just stupid enough for me to be like, yeah, okay.
earlier
You're gonna
about
do a Let's
Killing
Play of
Floor
it.
2 and
Yep.
Road Redemption will be playable here at E3. Definitely.
Complain
be
about
sure to
balance of the
check
shark
it out.
teeth versus the jump.
Coming up next,
Yep.
Frankie has a whole
Complain about
slew
clipping.
of unannounced games. Frankie.
Cheers, Sean. Man-eater looking tasty there. And I can't
Oh,
believe they
God,
named the
she
game
said
after my
tasty.
favorite weekend activity. Indies are at the heart of PC gaming, and next up is a brand new publisher
Oh my
revealing
God.
What did she just say? Can we pull back the fun bus there for a second?
yourselves, audience.
He said they named it after
So
a
let's take a
weekend
look.
favorite weekend activity, aka man eating.
Oh my God! Oh, she didn't.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. All right, I'm giving her 10 points for that. Go get it, Frankie. You go get yours, Frankie. Everyone in the audience is currently in love with her right now. She's got like Nelly Furtado songs playing in the background. The chat in the friggin' stream is so fucking off the charts right now. Be gone, thought. It's just so much thought references. I feel like if you look away from the screen for less than half a second, you've already lost like 5 games. Oh, more Minecraft?
This one looks like Minecraft meets Stardew.
Meets Stanley Parable.
Oh god. It just got dark real fast.
Yeah. Installing turnip, Panic. Okay.
A little weird.
My notes for this is going to be Morningstar. Installing turnip.
Super Meat Boy Meat Contra.
Oh god.
I don't think they were told that you can use other colors other than red, black, and white.
That's a game.
All these games look like must-plays. And Overwhelm, the final game of the bunch, is available on Steam right now with a special launch discount. So make sure you check that out after the show. And if you're at E3 this week, head over to the PC Gamer corner of the Facebook booth inside the South Hall to give Overwhelm a try.
Look, I know I'm sitting here just
Next up, it's time for us all
in
to take a
sweaty
holiday,
graphic
and where
t-shirt
better
and
than a virtual resort with
sweatshorts.
some truly
But I
spectacular
feel like Frankie would do
Back
about
again this year,
a
our
1,000
friend of the
times
show,
better
Frontier
with
Developments, with a
any
unique
hair that
take
wasn't
on the
Sigourney
park
Weaver
management genre.
from the 80s.
I am, of course, talking about Jurassic World Evolution. The long-awaited game is out tomorrow and lets
Just
you build your own
pretty much anything.
stuffed tourist trap. What could possibly go wrong? Unleash the Goldblum!
Unleash the Goldblum. Well, I mean, give me Goldblum. I'm happy.
You think that things are going to turn out differently, huh? Well, the ones before you did too. Because they believed that they were in control. And control... Well, here's the thing. Humanity is desperate for it. We are seduced by it. Deceived by the illusion of it. But we never really possess it. Because if there's anything that chaos theory has taught us, it's that nature is on its own course. And when we interfere, when humanity tries to put nature into orderly boxes, chaos destroys them.
I want a movie with Jeff Goldblum where it's just him sitting on a stool talking about life.
Unique
Dude, we need to get Jeff Goldblum to narrate Earth, Planet Earth.
And power of what
I'd get behind that. I'm okay with that. I'm really okay with basically anything Jeff Goldblum does, if I'm going to be real with you. Like, I'm not picky when it comes to Goldblum.
So this is a Jurassic Park city builder.
Basically. Look pretty good, though.
So excited
Yeah,
for
I'm
that
down.
game. Our next title is from Insomniac, who've been making amazing games for years, and they're going to try to take their expertise and answer the question, how do you make an open world game in VR? Let's take a look at their upcoming game, Stormland.
Wait, Jurassic World's tomorrow? Did I
June
miss
12th.
that? Wow.
Johnny 5 alive.
This is what it's like to chew 5 gum. Did that leaf just become a sentient robot?
I don't think so.
I feel like
Maybe.
that's what just happened.
So you're pretty much like a VR robot that's like doing stuff. Wow, the pixelation on this.
Yeah, the encoder on the stream just died. There we go. Now we're like a combat god? When did that happen?
Well, I mean, if you're VR, like, this is the type of stuff you would expect. I'm pretty sure you're like on rails.
Stormland.
Joining me to
So that
talk
was
about
Oculus
Stormland
plus
is the Chief Creative
Insomniac,
Officer at
eh?
Insomniac Games. Join me in welcoming Chad Desern.
All right, my notes for this one is robot
Chad, welcome
guys
to the stage.
do
Thank you.
things
I want to start right away and ask, what
In
is
VR.
this game all about?
in VR.
Well, in Stormland, you play as an android gardener, and an entity
An
called
android
the Tempest
gardener
uproots
combat
your
specialist.
habitat and shatters your android body. So you've got to travel to a civilization above the Thunderheads to repair yourself and save your friends.
And I want to ask what open world means in VR.
Well, for us, it's about giving the player the ability to explore the world freely with a set of android movement abilities that are designed to give you complete agency.
Yeah, because that's always a huge question I have is how does motion work in any VR title?
Yeah, well, in Stormland, you can do things like fly just above the slipstream with your outstretched android hands.
Yeah.
You can shoot a laser into the cloud surface and then make a ramp, kick off of that, climb up a cliffside, like literally launching yourself with your synthetic android strength, and then like push off and glide back down using
There
your
might be some projectile
to
vomiting with
control
what he's
your
describing right
descent.
now.
Massive freedom of movement, yeah.
That's it. It's this set of mechanics that are designed together to work fluidly so that movement feels exhilarating.
Yeah.
And you can kind of take the world at your own pace with it.
I'm curious why VR for this type of title?
There are a series of things that we're doing with Stormland that we could only do in VR. It's about the expressiveness of having tracked head and hands and how we use that for combat, how we use it for movement, even things like scavenging technology to attach it to your body. Like you look down, you get a new piece of tech, and you attach it right into your arm, and then suddenly you've got the ability to harness electricity or cloak yourself or all kinds of different cool android abilities.
I mean, the art is just beautiful in the footage that we've seen. I wonder if you can talk to me a little bit about the world and what it means for it to be ever-changing.
Yeah, that's a really good question. So that entity called the Tempest rearranges everything every single week so that we present the player with new playgrounds of movement and combat and scavenging. And you never know what you're going to discover. So every single island you find has the potential to hide an enemy stronghold or a network of underground caverns or brand new tech to scout.
That's awesome.
What just
now, I got to ask, where can we go
fell
for
in
more
the background?
Well, you can.
Or was that in
stay
my house
tuned,
and it just
by
sounded like it
watching,
was on the stage?
The Facebook and Twitter with @StormlandVR, or you can check us out at
The Facebook and Twitter.
The
I'm really
Facebook.
looking forward to it. Thanks for joining me, Chad. Once
And
again,
Twitter.
Oculus.com/Stormland for more information. Frankie's up in the balcony with our next absolutely gorgeous-looking indie title.
It really is, Sean, because next up we've got a first look at a new game from publisher Raw Fury. A neo-noir detective
We got a
drama
subtrain
featuring a
happening
Paris
right now,
cabbie who
ladies.
finds
Damn.
himself drawn into a world of crime. Sacré Roddy Bleu. Yes, I speak French. I can't wait for this one, so let's take
Let's
a
be
ride
real,
through
you
the
don't
trailer.
actually speak French, Frankie. Let's slow the roll.
If you like that last
I
game,
guess
you'll
it's like a
definitely love our next
noir
one. It's from the exact same
investigation
publisher,
game?
Raw Fury. It's an open-world, narrative-focused game.
I didn't really see enough to actually know.
There was not much going on there.
At Sable.
Sable, she was a female wrestler in the 90s. A lot of young boys became men.
Yeah. Oh, that anti-aliasing.
It reminds me of that puzzle game. Oh, what was it called?
Oh, the Specular.
Yeah, it just gave me a headache looking at it.
This would be like good for screenshots, like individual screenshots, but like emotion, it hurts.
Yeah, you can't have lines like that just being jaggy as shit. You need Antichamber, Mark remembers. Not Journey. God, no, Journey was fine. Antichamber gave me a headache because of all the, like, odd ways it outlined things. That's a game you need to play in 8K.
Joining me to talk
8K
about
and you have to
Sable
super
is
sample it from
pretty much the
16K.
entire core development team on stage. It's Daniel Feinberg and Greg Kithriotis. I want to immediately ask, what kind of game is Sable? What can we expect?
Sable is an open-world desert exploration game. It's
So it's
not
Journey.
a game about combat or about leveling up. It's a game about solitude, and it's a game
Journey.
about exploration.
Journey.
You
Okay.
play as Sable, a girl leaving her home to explore this world filled with monumental architecture, fallen spaceships, and you'll travel around on your hoverbike learning about the people, the culture, and the history of this world.
And you know, I talked about it before. I think this art style is amazing. Where's the origins of this?
So we were really heavily inspired by the clear lines style of.
So are they really going for like
comics,
24
as well
FPS?
as
Make it
Japanese
look like animation?
Particularly Studio Ghibli. So we really want to feel our players
Ghibli?
feel the same sense of wonder.
Isn't
that
it
you get
Ghibli,
from
or am I
watching
crazy?
One of their films. And so from the very
thought it was
beginning,
Ghibli.
we knew that we really needed to nail the
Oh,
visual
fuck
style.
do I know.
And yeah, so we put a lot of time.
I've been
and sort of
saying
effort
Studio
into
Ghibli
our
my whole life.
rendering system. And
I fucked up.
Yeah, we're really pleased to be able to show it to everyone.
Yeah.
I guess you
And, I
pronounce
know
a
that
GIF
you two
also.
Consist of most
I am a
core development,
giffer,
the
yes.
art and the programming. What about the music that was in that trailer?
Yeah, so that was a new track by Japanese Breakfast.
Oh, yeah, the T-shirt. Yes, of course.
Yeah,
right.
So she.
Yeah, the music was
Michelle, she is doing the soundtrack for the game. Japanese Breakfast is one of my favorite bands right now. It's incredible to have her on board.
It all just came together. So
Japanese Breakfast also sounds
You
delicious.
guys are really regular about updating, blogs, sharing what's going on with the development. Where can people go to find more?
So they can go to our Twitter account, ShedWorksReg and ShedWorksDan, or to sablegame.com.
Lovely, gentlemen. Thanks so much for joining me. Once again, the name of the game is Sable. Our next title is one that has been in development, even showing up in our very first PC gaming show. It's Cloud Imperium Games still hard at work on their title, Star Citizen. Let's see what they have in store.
Oh, right.
That's what I'm curious about.
This game still exists.
They're coming up with a patch 3 too in like a week or two.
Oh boy. Does it launch at patch 100? I still think that by the time this game launches, it will comedically no longer be graphically impressive.
The thing is, the game actually does look this impressive, even though it runs at like 15 FPS on my PC.
Yeah.
There are moments of glory when I get 30 or 40 FPS though.
Good news, though. I heard they're putting out a pack where you get almost all the ships for $27,000.
Mm-hmm.
Coming up on the PC Gaming Show, all new gameplay footage of Just Cause 4, a closer look at The Walking Dead, the final season, all new gameplay footage of Hitman, and now your host, Sean Plott.
As we do each year at the PC Gaming Show, in addition to talking about games, we're also going to talk about some of the upcoming hardware trends. To join me in talking about it is the senior brand manager from Acer. It's Eric Atkinson.
Hardware
Thanks for joining me up
trends.
here, Eric.
Sean, really excited to be here.
Now,
Everyone needs a graphics card, but nobody can find one.
Can be expecting right now.
Well, right now we're developing some
Phones
new products,
make
particularly
RAM
in
too
display
expensive.
space. We want to take the experience to the next level. To help with that, one of our new products is the Predator X27. It's an incredible gaming display. For instance, it's 4K and 120 hertz refresh. The users can overclock to 144. But what really takes it over to the next level is the inclusion of G-Sync HDR.
Yeah, now I hear a lot about HDR. Can you explain a little more in detail what that is and what that means?
Well, there's quite a bit that goes into it, but for the purpose of this conversation, the fact that there are
HDR on monitors
backlit
is
zones,
so shit
so
right
the
now.
backlighting can be individually controlled, really bright, very dark. It makes a better contrast on screen. Each of them are individually controlled. The brightness
There's
of the
really
screen
only
is
about
far
4
above a
TVs
typical
in
display.
existence that has
Typical, you're looking
HDR
at
right now, or
300
that
to
have
400 nits.
HDR right now.
We're
That's
looking at
worth buying
600 with
for.
the Predator X27 with a max
Everything
of
else
1,000
actually just
nits.
makes it look
And,
worse.
some of the titles that were showcased just now, there's a wide variety of some photorealistic, some with a really iconic art style. How does HDR contribute to that big range we see in gaming?
Well, one of the big things that helps is the color gamut that's available with these displays. We're able to do 99% of the Adobe color gamut, so it's better representing the vision of the art director.
Yeah, and some of the games that you see on screen that support HDR, Mass Effect Andromeda, Far Cry 4, Ni no Kuni 2. Again, you won't see them in HDR right now unless you have an HDR monitor. It doesn't work that way. We can't just stream it to you, but it brings me to one of my next questions about PC gamers tend to have a huge range of possible budgets. What are the different sort of products to look for at those price ranges?
Well, I mean, we cover the gamut from very simple and to the point to high-performance esports products or multi-view, surround, multi-display products.
I
But
still
we
think
also
we're
go
like
really crazy
3 or
sometimes.
4 years
We
away from
decide,
having a monitor
we
that
put our
actually
engineers to the test. What can we
has
do if
a
you have
good
bad image?
IPS
So
panel,
one of the
not
projects
just
we
one
worked on
that
is something
they're
called the Predator
like
21X.
focusing on
This is a 21-inch curved
just
screen,
saying it's IPS for the
laptop
sake
with
of
a
selling.
mechanical keyboard. How do you close it?
Good high refresh rate with good HDR,
We did a really good
4K with proper RGB.
Not
You
just
hear what he
joke.
said?
We actually
What did he
have to
say?
ship this with a Pelican
He was just like,
case
he's like
to protect the
21-inch
laptop, and it
curved
sells for $9,000.
screen laptop, and Sean was just like, how do you
We
close
sold
it? He's
every
just like,
single unit we could make.
science.
So we cover every spectrum of gaming.
That's pretty
You know,
good.
you brought up this Predator laptop. You brought
Why
up
would you
Predator
curve a
monitors,
21-inch
started a segment.
monitor?
Where can people go
It's a laptop.
to hear more about or even
That's
pick one
my
up once they stop
question
being sold out?
actually
The
stands.
good news is that we're shipping now. Our customers, partners are selling them. The bad news is a few have already sold out of this new Predator X27 monitor. I believe Micro Center is still in stock. Amazon will be in stock again soon.
Well, thank you so much for joining me on stage, Eric. Frankie is awaiting in the balcony with our very next title.
The PC has always been the
I thought we stopped
platform
with
for
the curved
crazy
bullshit.
ideas.
I thought that
In our
we'd
next
gotten
game,
past that.
Genesis Alpha 1, you build
It
and
works
manage
on
a
larger
space
monitors,
vessel,
not
farm
necessarily
resources,
smaller,
deal
though.
with terrifying alien infestations, and explore a vast, randomly generated universe. Oh, and you can take DNA from the aliens you encounter across the galaxy, splice them with members of your crew to create new life forms. Just a typical day at the office. Let's take a look.
Greetings, Commander. You have been sent to Quadrant Alpha 1. The mission is to find a new home for the crew on board of this ship. Expand your ship and explore the galaxy for resources and interesting new life forms. Feel free to experiment with DNA and alien abilities to maximize crew efficiency. Ready your weapons.
Okay.
Now, if you didn't catch the pre-show quiz, you might be wondering who my buddy is. Well, this, ladies and gentlemen, is Webster from Drake's Cakes, one of the PC gaming show's sponsors this year. And he's got a cool competition for you, the Drake's Cakes PAX giveaway. Oh yes, PAX is a gathering of PC and tabletop games, concerts, panels, exhibits, and tournaments. It's like a 4-day LAN party, festival, workshop, and concert rolled into one. The very lucky winner will enjoy a trip to PAX West, including 2 tickets and a free trip to Seattle. So if that's you, hit me up on those dates, because I am free. Webster, my man Duck, this is very generous of you indeed. And
That's not going to backfire on her.
If it's on a weekend though, watch out because we all know what her favorite weekend activity is.
Itself, don't forget you
Won't
can
that
meet
interfere
Webster
with
in
her
person
man
at
eating?
the E3 Cocktails Walkway, where he'll be giving away Drake's swag and tasty treats all week. So if you see him, give him a fist bump on my behalf. I'll take one now. Thank you very much, Webster. So if you have ever dreamt of spending a weekend knee-deep in one of Earth's best gaming festivals, visit pcgamer.com/Drake's Cakes and enter now for a chance to win and hang out with Webster. All right, Webster, all this hosting has got me a bit peckish. How about we look at a trailer for the next edition of Clay Entertainment's beloved survival series, Don't Starve, Hamlet.
Great. You know, I never played this game, but I've always kind of dug the art style.
Yeah. It reminds me of like they had a Penny Arcade game which was like a retro-y, like noir 2D thing, which was pretty cool.
If you're Canadian, it's almost like a Jacob Tutu book.
Our next title is the next installment in a series that never fails to make me laugh. It's Just Cause 4, and they have a brand new engine to bring the level of delicious insanity one notch up. Let's take a look at what the Apex engine in Just Cause 4 can really do.
Unrivaled draw distance. So Just Cause really is slowly becoming just a tech demo for an engine to sell to other people then.
Pretty much. Pretty much the Far Cry for Crytek.
Yeah.
For these guys. That's not how planes work.
Don't question it. It's fine.
Joining me to talk about it on stage now, from Avalanche Studios, it's Francesco Antolini and Adam Davidson. Gentlemen, welcome. Talk to me about the tornado.
It's fantastic, isn't it? So it's a very nice piece of tech. It's not just beautiful.
So many
thanks to
cards.
Apex, it's also a bad boy that actually works.
Got the Encyclopedia Britannica written out on cue cards.
Wreaking havoc and
It's not just like a background piece. It's actually impacting the world
This
before
is
you.
Just Cause, man. You go there and you play with it. Yeah.
You know, throughout the trailers that I've seen, it seems to be a lot of different environments that are available throughout. Can you talk to me about those?
Yeah, I mean, one of the most important things to us with this installment of Just Cause was bringing a lot more variety into the game, and that extends to a lot of things, but certainly the biomes of the game. So instead of one kind of region of, like, say, southern Italy, like we had last time, now you have lush rainforests, deserts, grassland, and even alpine biomes, all of which, you know, are rendered beautifully with the new Apex engine.
Now, something that's very important to me is some of my favorite features from Just Cause 3. Can you talk to me about, like, the wingsuit and the grappling hooks? Like, are those coming back in Just Cause 4?
Everything you love from Just Cause 3 is back.
Good.
But everything is also just better. There's more to do, more to discover. For example, the grappling hook is completely customizable. The combat model has been completely reworked, redesigned, enhanced. So new weapon, new enemies, new AI. We've got extreme weather that interacts with grappling hook and parachute.
The wind that we saw from the tornadoes, is it just like basic wind effects also get incorporated as well?
Again, it just goes, so nothing, just an effect. So if there is wind, it's physics and acts with your parachute, grappling hook, and the rest. Yeah.
Well, where can people go to get some, we'll call it first-hand footage of what Just Cause 4 can deliver?
They can check it out at justcause.com/E3 for 3 days.
That's right. Believe it or not, E3 hasn't started yet. Starts tomorrow, June 12th through 14th. You can check it out.
E3 has
Thanks so
become
much
such
for
a
joining us on stage. I
clusterfuck.
look forward to the hilarity.
So
of
are there
Just
more
Cause 4.
conferences over the next couple of days or no?
The only thing left is Nintendo.
So they do all like the media shows like the week before and then they have the actual
Well,
show?
it all started like,
are the creators of Payday
I can't remember who, Nintendo started doing a separate thing first,
some of the most talented makers
then
of cooperative
Microsoft and Sony eventually, now it's like just, it's around E3, but it's not technically E3.
And keep your eyes peeled for the release date at the end.
It's very much a confusing situation.
This one I'm interested in. This is what they've been working on outside of Payday for a while.
We were so many things.
I didn't realize.
Husbands and wives, doctors and teachers, writers and architects. But when the world ended, all that ended too. Every day we fight for more than survival. We fight to build a new life. Alone, we're weak. But together...
Oh, thank God, more zombies. We were on Spirit, such a dry spell.
Well, I mean, if it's zombies, it's got to be Walking Dead now.
Yeah.
Looks interesting.
And I have more good news for fans of The Walking Dead. Overkill's game for The Walking Dead, of course, coming soon, but we have a second, completely different Walking Dead game that we're getting the chance to talk about right now. This is Telltale's The Walking Dead, the final season. Joining me on stage to talk about it is the lead writer, James Windler, and the voice of Clementine herself, Melissa Hutchison.
Sean.
Thanks for joining me on the stage.
Our pleasure. Thank you.
Now, I want to ask right away for, people who've played through the first 3 seasons of The Walking Dead. In terms of the gameplay, what's some of the familiar and what's some of the new?
Okay, so for people who don't know Telltale, we are a story-based company. We focus on narrative. We've had our roots in the old school point-and-click adventure games, but we've developed our own cinematic style and almost a signature mechanic, like our choice wheel.
Yeah.
And that's all familiar. That should, the choices branch the narrative. What's new this year, we have traditionally combat and action. We've done with QTEs and like swipes and button mashes and all of that. This year, with the final season, we're introducing segments of unscripted combat.
Yeah, we see some of this right here.
Yeah, so Clem probably just brutalized a zombie there.
Yeah. Of course she is.
And
so we also have the orbital cam, like the over-the-shoulder camera. So that's offering our players opportunities to explore our environments, which you can also see from the B-roll. Is they're looking really, really good with this graphic black art style that we're employing.
Yeah, because in the previous games it was much more of a directed camera from scene to scene, but now you can really sort of explore the environment on your own.
Absolutely, yeah, and yeah.
Now I want to ask about the story. I mean, Telltale games always have that as the central feature. Where does The Walking Dead, the final season, start off?
Okay, so it starts, Clementine has been on the road for a long time. We are post-time jump in the comics.
Mm-hmm.
She's been on the road. She's traveling with AJ, who is an orphaned boy, who is the closest thing that she has to family. But they're reaching the end of it.
I played the first season or so of this, and it was pretty good, but then I started getting angry with the fact that all of my choices seemed to just result in the same shit.
A secluded school,
and then
where there are no adults.
I always felt like there should be another option,
essentially,
and it was always missing. It's so frustrating.
Yeah, and what are the sort of challenges that she's going to face throughout the season?
Oh, all kinds of challenges, yeah. Like zombie threat all the time. Yeah, of course. And then there's always the external threat, at some point there are going to be adults coming in representing external threats that she's going to have to deal with.
Now, Melissa, I
Adam
want to
will
ask
remember that.
what your experience has been like, because it's rare to have, a voice actress journey along with a character in a multi-year journey. I mean, how long ago was the first recording that you did?
Well, it was 2012, but we might have even started in 2011. I don't know.
We're not going to do math on air.
Yeah,
That's
we're not
always
doing
a
math.
bad idea.
That's not happening right now. It's been a long time, and it's not only just playing one character, it's actually been aging with her, growing with her, and falling deeper and deeper in love with her, and starting as this young child who's, playing as Lee, it's your job to protect her, and then organically moving through all these seasons, and now You're playing as Clementine. I mean, really, this is a fan-driven game, so this final season is for the fans, and you know, you're going to be playing as Clementine and protecting AJ, and this is just near and dear to my heart. And
I mean, how do you feel about the fact that this is the end?
Well, I mean, it's bittersweet. I'm super sad. I'm super psyched. You know, of course, it'll be sad to end her journey, but I'm really looking forward. Obviously, I'm surrounded by talent with Telltale Games, and I have no doubt that the writers and the creatives are going to crush it. So, sad but happy? It's all very confusing. I'm a very confused human right now. Let's just put it that way.
Well, I'm someone who's played through all of the Telltale Walking Dead games. I'd love to know when the final season is coming out.
August 14th. Yeah, we ship August 14th, and it's available for pre-order right now.
Be sure to check it out. Thank you so much for joining me on stage today. Once again, that's thewalkingdeadgame.com, or you can find it on Steam as well. And for our next title, Frankie, we're going to head back to you on the balcony.
Next up, have I got a treat for you. Coming straight out of Finland from Nolla Games, it's a magical action roguelike that asks, is that a wand in your pocket? Or are you just trying to kill me? Don't let the retro art style fool you. Noita is set in a procedurally
I feel like they
generated
poofed
world
up her
where
hair
every
to hide
pixel
the
is
stage
physically
more.
simulated. Let's take a look.
No, I think she's just the type of girl with that's her natural hair, and her choices were I'm gonna fight it for the rest of my life or just say fuck it and keep my hair like this. And I think she's in the latter camp. Not very many women go out of their way to actually make their hair look like that, so.
I don't even know how to say that.
Noida?
Our next title is one that's very
Like
near and
noise?
dear to my heart, as it is the spiritual successor to one of my favorite childhood games, Theme Hospital.
All
Joining
right,
me to
I'm
talk
gonna
about
say
it are the
my
two
notes
founders
are
of 2 Point Studios to talk
Noida,
about
lots
2
of
Point
pixels.
Hospital. Join me in welcoming Dr. Webley
Oh,
and
yes.
Dr. Carr.
I've been waiting for this one.
Oh, right, yeah, this is, you've been talking about this.
It's the, it's like the spiritual successor to Theme
Great
Hospital.
suits. I mean, I gotta ask, as two fully trained medical professionals, how does one run a hospital in 2 Point Hospital? Whoa, what's going on with the mic? What's going on with the mic?
What? Oh, no.
Wait, oh my gosh, is the stethoscope eliminating your microphone?
Everything is going horribly
You know
wrong.
We do this every year. Come here, talk to me.
Okay.
How do we run a hospital?
So 2 Point Hospital is a game about designing and building your own hospital. It's
Talk directly at my tie.
You said don't talk there.
Yeah.
I got to look out here, you said.
Yeah, no, just look straight at the ground.
Customization, is this not working at all?
Yeah, it's great.
Doing great. Carry on.
I'll carry on then. Yeah, a lot of customization, a lot of interesting characters in our world, which with all these different characters, we had to come up with some really interesting illnesses and cures for them. And
What a shit show.
In 2 Point County, exploring different regions and curing people with different ailments. And as you can see on the
Ubisoft is
screen,
leaking
we've
into
got
other
this is
events,
real.
guys.
We actually researched this. It's a certain animal. And also you can train people. You can train your doctors to be better, your nurses to be better. Do research so you can unlock new wonderful cures.
Yeah. You know,
Looks like they've added a lot more stuff to Theme Hospital.
Yeah, so I mean, no, tell me about it. Like, what is the sort of late game sort of experience that you'll be playing through? Because this looks like it's quite deep into the running of a hospital.
Yeah, this is later on. So you start off and you're researching and you're training up staff, you're diagnosing illnesses, and you're hopefully curing them and making money, and then heading off.
I see this malady. Yeah, I see this malady called turtle head. Can you explain a little bit about what that is?
Yes. It's when the head becomes so shrunken it gets stuck in the neck orifice, just pops out slightly, and it has to be extracted. And Mark, how's it get
well,
extracted?
this is something you've
Perfect.
maybe, we've all been there. I know. This is one where a little bit of suction always helps.
The thing I love about this game is the most ridiculous disease, is like a bloaty head. They'd have to pop your head, pull off the extra skin, and then re-inflate it.
It's a pretty good, easy $10,000.
Young man has to deal with at some point. What is a monobrow infestation?
Yeah, well, monobrow is,
follically enhanced.
Yeah,
it's a problem. We've all been there.
Yeah, I haven't.
No, okay.
But it needs to be diagnosed and cured pretty quickly. If it doesn't, it'll fester, and you might shed a bit of hair. And in fact,
it will actually leave the body, and it needs to be got rid of before the health inspectors arrive.
It looks like the monobrows are multiplying in the hospital.
They breed they're big breeders, the monobrows.
They like
monobeasts.
They like dirty places. Disgusting. So you've got to keep your hospital clean and well maintained. Yeah. Otherwise, they're going to breed. I
want to ask about sort of how the game evolves over time, because Theme Hospital was very mission-based. How does the experience of running a hospital change as the game goes on?
Yeah, so once you've started your first hospital, it's a pretty simple affair, and then you move on through 2 Point County. There's different regions. There's a cold region. There's warm regions with contagious diseases. And, there's
poor regions, there's rich regions.
Yeah. So we've got volcanoes,
Yeah,
in fact.
we've got all sorts of wonderful, weird effects can happen in different parts of the world.
So you might struggle to manage your hospital empire because a volcano went off nearby.
Yeah, it's about spinning plates, isn't it? You've got everything set up nicely, and then
something happens.
Thrown at you. So.
Well, I'd love to know more information about when 2 Point Hospital is coming out.
Well, we're coming out to fall. And you can check us out by going onto our Steam page and hopefully wish listing. Yeah. And we're coming later in the year.
We're told to say that.
No. Well, I'm personally, again, really looking forward to it coming out. Thanks so much for joining me, Doctor and Doctor.
Thank you.
Talk about 2 Point Hospital. Now, our second Battle Royale game of the afternoon takes a fantasy RPG-esque bent, and you may have even seen it getting streamed on Twitch in the previous week. Let's take a look at Hi-Rez's Realm Royale.
I watched a bit of this because everyone at the top of Twitch was getting paid to play it at the same time. And, yeah.
I saw some people playing it, I'm like, okay, I guess.
Yeah. It's Fortnite without the... It's Fortnite without the building, basically.
It's Rory
So
Newbro,
Fortnite meet Torchlight meet no building.
Mr. Dry
I
Bear.
guess, yeah, like...
Realm Royale?
The separation is really like being able to upgrade your
So before you
shit.
go up into the air to determine where you land on the map, you'll actually choose from a list of fantasy classes like mage or hunter or assassin and specify a unique play style before you land.
How do these different classes work?
So the engineer will be more about bunkering down, putting up shields, putting down turrets. The assassin will get behind the lines using stealth, use a sniper rifle to take out targets. And the warrior will just jump in there throwing axes and being crazy.
And, in some of the streams that I've watched, it also seemed like there were abilities, not just the loot and find stuff. Can you talk to me about how the ability mechanics work?
Once you choose a class, it'll come with a set of abilities, and you'll actually be upgrading these during the match, but it specifies your play style. And so as you're looting, abilities as well as armor and weapons will come out of the chest.
Okay.
You'll start equipping that and determining the play style you want, and so you can just really specify.
And you mentioned this a little bit. I've seen it on stream. Talk to me about crafting in the game. I mean, how does crafting work in a game where there's a constantly shrinking play circle?
We're really excited about this. So strewn across the map, there are places called forges. And so once you go to the forge, you'll collect shards from disenchanting loot you find as you're going about. And you'll use these shards to start crafting legendary gear, very powerful pieces that everyone will want.
Yeah.
Once you start the forge, a smokestack will appear above the forge, and everyone comes over to fight.
Like a mini objective, even.
Big team fight.
So I know that Realm Royale is currently available for free on Steam, but I hear that you have some goodies people can check out that are E3 exclusive.
That's right. So free on Steam. We're actually out for less than a week now, and we were already #4 on Steam charts. And this week at E3, through Mixer, if you stream on Mixer and you're playing, the streamer that gets closest to the Crown Royale will enter into the hype zone, and so everyone will see you on. You'll be featured on the main page of Mixer.
Oh, they're doing hype zone with this too.
You'll win the jailbird chicken skin, which is our first piece of cosmetic. It's a little chicken with like a little jailbird, like prisoner outfit, and just box around. It's hilarious.
Yeah, and if you don't know the chicken mechanic, seriously, please look it up right now. Rory, thanks so much for joining me on
We
stage.
got you guys
to
laughing in chat about
Royale.
Mixer.
Once
You guys aren't
again,
going to be laughing very much longer when Mixer actually like comes
Our
up.
next game is one
I think you're wildly underestimating how popular that platform is likely going to become.
of what they've been up to.
Yes, John, as you
It's
may
not a bad
remember, our
platform.
next game is made by a core team of just 2 people. It's called Ooblets, and it's a farming and creature collecting indie inspired by Pokemon, Harvest Moon,
Why
and
did I never
Animal
stream on
Crossing.
Mixer? Because
This
it didn't
fresh trailer
exist,
features a
and then,
first
oh
look at a
right,
unique
I'm
combat
contractually
system, along with
obligated not
plenty
to.
of cute Ooblets and environments. Let's take a gander.
I'm going to have like 4 pages of notes, the amount of games this thing's got.
Oh my god, so many games. My only concern about Realm Royale is I know the other games Hi-Rez has done, and I have concerns.
Yep. I would agree.
Like, they just dipped out on Tribes franchise and friggin' Global Agenda, and then just like stuck with like Smite.
Now, mind you, they've done well with Smite.
Oh yeah, no, they've done well with Smite, but like they have a tendency of if things don't go okay, they drop the title and then forget it ever happened.
They probably don't have the money to do otherwise. They're not like Ubisoft, who can like release Rainbow Six Siege. It's a pile of dog shit. Spend the next 5 years making it a good game. Ooblets. I have no idea what that game is, but my girlfriend will love it.
It wouldn't be a PC gaming show without a dash of strategy, which is why I'm delighted that we get the chance to share with you the next in the Anno games. Let's take a look at Anno 1880.
Ooh. Another Anno game, all right.
Yeah, but they're going back this time.
Instead of being super futuristic.
Yeah.
Naily, you're a fucking creeping up a storm. Damn. Oh my god.
Wow, Naily, that's
deep.
You've gone too far.
Naily gonna come up with her
all this work, and then someone else gets in.
Joining me on the stage to talk about it is the executive producer, Burkhard Rathheiser, and community developer, Bastian Thun. Gentlemen, welcome to the stage. I want to begin right away by asking, for people who haven't seen or experienced the Anno series, what are these types of games like?
Yeah, well, Anno 1800 is a PC only.
This guy just came back from an extended vacation in the south.
City building.
He's also got the evil doctor glasses.
Economic simulation and naval warfare. And at its core, it's a sandbox game. So you have a vast amount of freedom to explore the world and
It's like
build huge cities.
a world city builder thing.
Well, Anno's always been kind of like a mission-based city builder.
Well, the 19th century, it's such an interesting and rich era. There was so much happening in this era. So we had 2 industrial revolutions.
Bond, I want you to
we
die.
had major scientific inventions and also big social changes, and also the creation of the big imperial empires. So it's a really rich era.
And what are some of the elements that we'll get to see from the 19th century in Anno 1800?
So it's kind of for the player. It's well, basically you start with the first kind of medieval settlements, and then it's a kind of a journey through the 19th century. So it's a kind of you explore everything that kind of happened in this rich era.
And I understand that you have a very unique take on how to work with the community, how to gather feedback. I was wondering if you could talk to me about what is Anno Union.
So last year at Gamescom, when we actually revealed the game,
How
we
long
decided
is
on, you know
this
what, it's
conference?
pre-alpha, we revealed the game.
I have no
we
idea.
Invited the
Because
community
Sony's
to
at
basically become a
in
part
like an hour and
of our development team.
23
so
minutes.
We launched our Anno Union platform. It's a place
I
where we
think.
give constant weekly updates on the current development and invite players to give feedback and basically help us developing the game.
Can you give me like an example of exactly how some choices have been steered by the community?
So there's a lot of different stuff we did. So like from the feedback we got on our blogs and focus playtests
9 p.m. your
invited
time.
players. We got so much great feedback, which had to completely rebalance the mid and late game of the game. Also, we heavily expanded on core features of the game based on feedback. We said like, okay, that really seems to work. Players like that, so okay. Let's do it like improve the quality a little bit even more.
Yeah.
But they can also vote on actual game content. So we had a big vote for an AI opponent in the game, for community
Nothing too crazy at this conference, Smitty, but in E3 in general,
I understand that some
I
of
mean,
this footage that you're sharing
Elder
right now
Scrolls
is
6.
pieces that people can go to anno-union.com
Pirate games are big
and vote
this
on
year,
right
so
now.
you'll be happy to hear
so
about that.
Just in time for E3, you can go to announion.com, check out, we have a vote up where you can vote on one of 5 ships in the game. And that's only the first stage, because in the second stage, we will allow you to design your own ship variant. So the winner of that first vote, then you can hand in your own design notes, drawings, 3D models, whatever you like. And the winner of that contest will actually make it into the game.
Now, where is the website that people can go to again to get the most information right now?
Yeah, just check out anno-union.com. That's basically our big community platform, and we want to invite especially strategy gamers, PC players out there to come help us developing the game, sharing feedback. Just check it out.
Well, gentlemen, thank you for joining me on stage to talk about Anno 1800. Our next title is the final battle royale of the night, and Frankie is going to be talking about it, and it's a little bit, maybe not what you'd expect.
Publisher TinyBuild is known for discovering distinctive indie
Tiny
developers
Build?
and bringing
What?
their quirky ideas to the fore, with Cluster Truck, Speedrunners, and Hello Neighbor among their catalogue of hits. And now I'm delighted to be able to bring you the world-exclusive reveal of a game developed by Galvanic Games in cooperation with Explosion. Inspired by the Cyanide and Happiness webcomic, Rapture Rejects is Battle Royale as you've never seen one before, ladies and gentlemen, believe it or not. Top down, isometric, cartoony, and basically bonkers. Let's take a look at what happens when the man
What
upstairs
is
makes
happening?
an epic fail and only beams up the bad people. Introducing Rapture Rejects.
Dear God, every day I strive to be closer to your light. I pray that when Judgment Day, that most holiest of days, comes upon us, when you bring all the good people to heaven,
boy.
that I may live in eternal glory by your side. Amen.
That's not gonna get any rave, review bombs.
What the fuck?
Oh, is this Cyanide and Happiness?
Yes. You didn't figure that out yet?
I had something over the screen before.
Ha! Ha!
Thanks, brah.
Amazing. Oh!
Oh, Jesus Christ.
10 out of 10.
I can't believe we got to show that trailer. That's so great. Our final game that we'll be showcasing this evening is from perhaps the most famous stealth action franchise in gaming, the Hitman series. Let's take a look at a brand new trailer from Hitman 2.
Oh, we're actually officially going to 2 now. I was kind of sad I never got into the other one, but they seem to be doing obviously very well.
To Miami, 47. The innovation race.
So when they went
is its last
episodic,
day,
they started
and it is
doing really
down
well.
to the wire.
Yeah.
The Providence defectors are Robert and Sierra Knox. A day of high-octane thrills and 2 very public targets.
Perfect. Oh, and you're sued. That was savage.
I actually really like the Hitman games. They're actually really fun.
Joining me to talk
The movie
about
wasn't
Hitman
even that
2
bad.
is game
Yeah.
director from IO Interactive.
I liked it because the way they set it up,
Join
you can
me up
kind of
here,
just like
Jacob.
jump in and do only like
Come
a
on
mission
out,
or
we gotta
two,
talk.
and it was just like it was cool.
Yep.
Hey, Sean. Welcome, Jacob. Thanks for joining me. I mean, right away, tell me, what is Agent 47 doing in Miami?
Well, he's there to pay a visit to Sharon Robert Knox, who are part of the Kronstadt Empire. And yeah, we all know how that ends, right?
Well, given that it's a Hitman game, I have some hints. And, you know, I always felt like in the Hitman games, the environment was so critical, trying to study and trying to understand it. What are some of the elements in Miami that will show up in Hitman 2?
Yeah, well, absolutely. Miami is, I think it's one of the biggest events we've ever created in the game. And in Miami, we have, of course, the race as the centerpiece.
Yeah.
But being this super high detailed sandbox, we also go to great lengths to actually create all the surrounding bits and pieces, like you have here, backstage area. Of course, we also have that in Miami. So pits and paddocks, there's an emergency room, and so on. So all the facilities needed in order for you to kind of make your own way through the mission and take advantage of the locations and all the different disguises and items you stumble upon as you move in closer to your targets.
And in terms of mechanics, I know that there's going to be a lot of the familiar feels, but what are some of the brand new mechanics that are in Hitman?
Yeah, some of the new stuff is, for instance, the crowds we just saw here in Miami. First of all, there's more than ever.
Yeah,
we're close to 2,000 people now in the scenes. And on top of that, we also introduced a new crowd
close to
mechanic
2,000
where you,
people in a
you can
scene.
get into the crowd if you get in trouble. So as long as
Assassin's
they are
Creed's
not,
going,
fleeing
how?
or running away, then they're there
How
for
did
you
you do
to
it?
hide in, so in case you get chased by guards. Another new thing is the picture-in-picture mechanic, where you get information about what's going on other places in the level. So if you're setting up traps and stuff like that, you can kind of keep track of where the important characters are. And last but not least, we have the fan favorite, which is the sniper briefcase is back. But this time it's not only for sniper rifles, it's also for all the other things you want to carry around kind of without causing too much attention to yourself.
And I want to ask about some of the weapons and the disguises that have been showing up throughout these trailers.
Yeah, we go to great lengths. I think the theme of this showing is going to be the fish. It's really it's a studio favorite. We're having a lot of laughs at that, right? And then of course you just saw it in the kitchen as a frying pan. So we all know the kitchen is the most dangerous room in your house, right?
Yeah,
so
of course.
Also counts in Hitman.
And I want to ask about some of my
PUBG
favorite
Corp
content
sues
from
them
Hitman,
immediately
things
for
like
use of
elusive
frying
targets,
pan.
limited time events. Will those be making a comeback?
Absolutely. So there's still going to be escalations for you to kind of challenge the game in many different ways. There's going to be challenge packs, again, new challenge for you. And then, of course, the elusive targets that pop up for a short period of time only. And you have one shot at this or, go bust.
As my final question, the expected question, when does Hitman 2 come out?
Hitman 2 comes out November 13, and if you pre-order right now, you also get access to a new game mode called Sniper Assassin, where you get to play as Agent 47, and also, for the first time in the franchise, you can play along with a friend in the co-op mode.
Well, Jacob, thank you so much for coming out. I'm super looking forward to Hitman 2.
Thank you.
I might be the worst Hitman ever, but I try hard. Now, Jacob, I'm going to thank you.
Thank you.
And I'm going to escort you off to the right. So you're going to rush off this way, because coming in from the left, for the first time ever, vaguely nearby me, it's the co-host, Frankie. Come here, Frankie.
They let me come down from the balcony for good behavior.
Excellent. Well, Frankie, we did it. The PC Gaming Show is done. Thank
Wow,
you so
she's
much
actually
for joining
pretty
us to host
tall.
this year.
Thank you.
I don't know what she's wearing.
Guys.
Thanks for all of you who came out to the Will Turn and joined us
true.
today.
She
It
could be
was
like
a blast.
5'8" plus
Thanks to
heels.
Twitch chat. I know that everything you said was appropriate and intelligently thought out.
Yeah.
And of course, this year we're curating even more great PC games from the Facebook booth in E3 South Hall. Last, and of course not least, a huge thank you to all our wonderful sponsors who let the PC Gaming Show come back for a 4th straight year. They are Hi-Res Studios, Digital Extremes, Archangel Hellfire, Team 17, Stardock Entertainment, Acer, Predator, Improbable, Oculus Rift, Drake's Cakes, Tripwire, Frontier Developments, and Square Enix. We hope you have a wonderful E3 and go play some damn video games. Cheers.
Thank you. Bye.
Those actually aren't that tall.
Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. The PC Gaming Show happened. That was a whole lot of, like, almost nothing with a couple of, like, reasonable showings. For all the notes that I have here, it's a little bit of a hurting situation. Are you going to do the recap with me, or am I doing that solo?
I'll join you for it.
Okay.
Let me boot up Audition.
Just make sure, set her for 44.1 24-bit for me. That's that's what we're mastering our stuff at these days.
Check what my settings are.
It might very well be that already, I don't know.
$44 132-bit is what I'm at.
Jesus. Easy there,
32-bit
killer.
mixing?
Yeah, well, the mixing is going to be 32-bit, but you want to set your recording when you go to like a multi-track or whatever that you end up using. You want to set
I'm in multi-track right now.
Yeah, you want to set your multi-track when you start a new one to 44.1 24-bit. Yeah, the mixing is always 32-bit.
Okay. Is there a way to see what I'm currently set at?
I'm looking at mine, and I'm gonna say that's a hard no. At least it's not jumping out at me, so I would just start a new multi-track, honestly. That's what I do every time anyway, I just start a new one.
But then I lose my effects track.
And have to like choose it in the drop-down menu again? How terrible. I actually need to send you a new one anyway. To remind myself to do that.
I believe I'm at 24-bit actually already. Yeah, I'm at 24-bit. If you look at the multi-track on like the sessions, it gives you like sample rate and bit depth.
I believe you. Good enough. All right. So yeah, we'll just do I'll start recording and we'll do the recap. You can send me the audio. Just make sure you label it the PC Gaming Show.
Yep.
And
Get this all opened up.
We'll do it that way.
Huh, where did my FX rack go? It's not even on the drop down anymore. Ay vey. Oh no, never mind, it's there. We're good. Solid. So we're on the wrong track. I was like, that shit go. Alright. Okay, sweet. Ready to go. Recording.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back just on the other side of the PC gaming show. Just finished getting blitzed by about 5 million games. And blitzed by people creeping the Sean's co-host Frankie in ways that only the internet could. Lots of stuff. I've got Panic with me this time around. Panic, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing well. I was just marveling at the level of depth and breadth they had in the stocking, but also of the games.
Yes, yeah. Well, one of these things was definitely deeper than the other. But let's get started because we've got a plethora of games to go through here. Some will spend
a lot of time.
Some will spend more time on than others. Yeah, because I've got about an hour from this recording to do this, and then decide whether or not I try and put out all the stuff that I didn't get to do in between the last two shows. First game that we got right off the rip was Satisfactory. It's basically like the best way I could describe it, if you've never seen Satisfactory to this point, is it's like space engineers and Factorio had a baby. And it's a co-op server game. So essentially the idea is you're collecting resources, building buildings that are required to build bigger, more complicated buildings that are in turn required to build bigger and more complicated buildings.
Yeah, I didn't actually. I think that was towards the beginning, right? Like I hadn't actually joined yet, so I completely missed the first couple of games.
Oh well, that's pretty much
that's how fast they were going.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it was. That's pretty much exactly what it is. You can check it out. I mean, it looked kind of neat. It's one of those co-op server game things. You could probably like run your own server, or maybe make use of some that are already out there on the webs. And I think they're in some form of alpha right now. But one way or another, that's pretty much what it is. After that, we had a brief look at. Well, brief describes a lot of the looks that we had in this show, but a brief look at a game called NeoCab, which was kind of like a cyberpunk Uber driver simulator that also seemed to have some greater purpose, of which I couldn't quite discern based on what we saw. But from a visual standpoint, it was kind of neat, I guess. It just kind of looked like it almost looked like another one of those visual novel type deals, at least on the surface. And then after that, we got one of the first kind of major titles that everyone would have known as soon as they heard it, or most people anyway, and that's Maverick's Proving Grounds, which is that 1,000-player battle royale game. And they were mentioning how the beta access is limited to 100,000 people starting June 17th, is I believe what we settled on, what we both thought we heard. But yeah. What is your? I mean, we saw a little bit in the trailer stuff there. I don't think it was anything dramatically different from what we've seen in the past, to my recollection. But either way, what is your take on somebody trying to do a 1,000-player battle royale game?
I think this one was more hype than anything. I mean, looking at the graphics and the gameplay, it looked nice, but I figure there's going to be some really weird sharding going on in that server. 1,000 people networking for first-person responsiveness is a non-trivial problem, and I also believe it's a problem that hasn't been solved yet, at least not well. So it's going to be a very interesting beta when they push out with that.
It sounds like a lot of technology that has to happen at the same time to make, like you were saying, sharding.
Yeah, who's the publisher behind that, or the developer? Like, I don't feel like it's something a smaller developer could pull off.
I actually don't know off the top of my head. If I'm going to
look that up real quick.
If I'm going to be honest with you, but Yeah, I mean, if you can make it work, all the power to you, because that's going to dramatically change the landscape of multiplayer games across the board. And people are going to want to know how you did it.
Yeah, they're selling founders packs already on the website.
Yeah, so I don't know. I'm not sure who's backing it, but at the end of the day, it's reaching. I feel like 1,000 people is reaching, and we're gonna have to wait and see how it plays out. Maybe they pull it off.
It's a British company, so I already
Okay.
have my hopes dashed.
Rip. From there, we got The Forgotten City, which was kind of like a mixture of a puzzle adventure and I mean,
That was the one where everyone kind of like, that wasn't Sinking City, right? This was the one where you had all the statues and people were like turning into like the golden statue things if they sinned or whatever.
Yeah, I think that's what that was.
Yeah.
It was basically like a they call it like a reimagining of the mod, and it was a mod of some game. I feel like I just got incomplete information because I was trying to eat and keep up with the madness that this was the show.
Was just incomplete information. Period. That was kind of the problem with the show. They just went really fast, so like you'd miss things. Like they switched from some games to other games without even really transitioning.
Yeah.
So it was like weird.
Yeah, but it looked kind of interesting. It is very much, I guess, the original mod that this is based on won an award for its narrative. So that's saying something. So maybe take a peek at that if that seems like it's up your alley. Then we got Star Control, which is like kind of a remaster of an older game,
action RPG. Yeah.
according to Panic. Yeah, and it's coming up September 20th this year.
I was not expecting that release date. I was expecting it to be sometime early 2019.
Yeah, it looked interesting. It almost looked like an old Telltale game or something like that. The way that it kind of, but obviously not the point and click portion of it. After that, we got Archangel Hellfire, which is like a mecha game essentially, and we didn't really see a hell of a lot or hear a hell of a lot. Here's like a 30-second trailer, half of which was at like 25 frames a second. It's coming July 17th. Maybe there's some people out there getting jazzed for it, but I'm not entirely sure. Then we got Sinking City, which is the one Panic was alluding to earlier, which is another investigation type game, and like a psychological thriller almost as well. It seemed like that's kind of where they were going with it. And that one had some elements of, I don't know, several things, but it was a lot of investigation games. I felt like we're in the first half of the show. There was at least 3, which is not exactly a super common genre to hit up, let alone 3 at one of these conferences. But Sinking City did look pretty cool. What did you think of that one?
That one I enjoyed the presentation for, but at the same time they were throwing a lot of buzzwords just to try to get people to understand like, what they were like. And I always get hesitant about that because it seems like they don't have their own identity then, because they're like, our game is like, and then they start giving you all these things that they're trying to capture and like mash together. And I felt that the character looked kind of like an Indiana Jones type, but there's like Lovecraftian monsters roaming around. And at the same time, it was kind of weird. So that one will come straight down to execution. I need to see more before I really had any judgment on it. Again, like we got maybe like 2 minutes of video on that one.
Yeah.
While they were talking over it.
This is the story of the whole show. We also got a quick look at Warframe: The Sacrifice, which is another piece of the multiple kind of expansion series that they have been doing for quite some time now. That comes out this week. Then we had a little bit of a sizzler reel for games that Sega has been bringing out to the PC and games that are still to come, including Shenmue 1 and 2, which was already announced earlier this year. Yakuza 0, I believe, also, and then Valkyria Chronicles 4, which we haven't decided yet, but we're pretty sure that's new. I'm not deep enough into the Valkyria Chronicles to know if 4 is new or not, but it seems to me like that is new.
I'm checking the release date on it right now. Initial release date was March 21st, 2018. So yeah, they're actually bringing the port in very, very quickly.
Okay, so that is like pretty much brand new and then coming on over. So that's
Yeah, it's like 3 months in.
That's good. Well, there you go. So those are some pretty. This is pretty hard hitting titles from
Yakuza
Sega.
0 actually looked pretty damn good.
Mhm.
So that'll be an interesting one to check out.
Absolutely. Yeah, Yakuza 0 is apparently on Steam for like 18 bucks right now, or something like that. That's pretty crazy. What else did we get next? We got Killing Floor 2, which was just showing off more of what they had already shown off earlier, which was like the summer sideshow making a comeback. That's
Clown
launching.
Punk, Steam clowning.
Yeah, the Steam clowning. That launches tomorrow. Then we got into Maneater, where Frankie made the wonderful weekend joke that will totally be memed into the ground. I have written down here, Maneater, you are the shark. Shark PG. RPG with campaign and skill tree. So basically, you are literally playing as the shark in a open world-ish RPG that has a single-player campaign and skill tree. It's madness. It's exactly what it sounds like. It's madness, and I might not play it, but I'm happy it exists. I'm happy somebody was crazy enough to make a shark PG. It's fantastic.
I feel like you're going to have a playthrough of that.
It might very well happen. It depends on what else is going on at the time, but I could see myself playing that game just for the shits and giggles, for sure.
The shiggles.
The shiggles. Next up after that, we had Morningstar, which was basically what looked to be some sort of iteration on Minecraft that tonally shifted in about a hot second. And then
the Stardew Parable.
Yeah,
craft.
the Stardew Parable craft, where it turned into like Stanley Parable type shit, and then it was like hacking a computer or installing something on a floppy disk, and then it just said installing turnip, and that's all I wrote down. Installing turnip. So there you go. Morningstar.
Turnip for what?
Installing turnip. Turnip for what? That's perfect. It's a game. It's coming. We don't know when, but it's a game. Then we got Jurassic World Evolution, which was like the city builder.
That's the one I wanted to look. I was like, is that actually tomorrow?
That we thought we heard was coming out tomorrow. That's a pretty common theme in the PC gaming show, where stuff just comes out the day after the show or the day of.
Oh no.
How far out is it?
No, it is tomorrow.
Oh, it is tomorrow.
IGN gave it a 4.8 and Metacritic gave it a 75.
Oh, savage. Well, hey, look.
It looked cool.
We got some good voiceover for the trailer.
Jeffy Gold.
We got Jeff Goldblum. So
Goldie Blooms.
let's just enjoy it for what it was.
I will say a 75 on Metacritic for a movie tie-in game is
not
pretty
bad.
friggin' amazing.
It's not. I mean, it isn't out yet, which tells me that it's a little inflated. But hey, we'll see how it really plays out in another few weeks. Stormland came after that, which was a Oculus Studios and Insomniac collaborative work, where I wrote down robot guys do things in VR. That sound like an accurate summation?
Yeah, pretty much. We're still a little confused on whether the Leaf brought that robot back to life.
Yeah, I'm not
I wasn't quite
entirely
positive on that.
Yeah, I'm not following if we're now a sentient robot,
But
powered by a Leaf.
Yeah, Oculus backing that's interesting. I'm kind of sad because it means it's going to be exclusive to the Oculus. We won't really be able to play it on the other platforms, which I think overall ends up hurting.
Unless first of all, Oculus Studios is working with them, which is probably why this is happening.
That's exactly. But at the same time, it also it reduces the ability to get VR out there.
In a world where VR is already the most ridiculously niche market ever.
Yeah.
Having games only show up on one of the headsets is not helping anyone.
Yeah. I get it. I 100% get the business reason why. Simply because Oculus probably invested a bunch of money, to get a good experience.
Yeah.
Which is actually, makes me want to try the game.
Yeah, I mean, when the guy was on stage describing that you were like a robot farmer that just so happens to be like a combat specialist with laser beams that pull you into the clouds and launch you across the sky. I mean, that sounds like projectile vomiting to me, but I'm totally down to see how it plays out for other people. And yeah, robots do things in VR. Stormland coming sometime in the future. Then we got Night Call, which was another like 15-second long trailer that made it all we could get from it was a noir investigation game. That's about all we got from it. Then we jumped into Sable, which was after the guy came on stage, it was Journey.
You want to know what's going as fast as the PC gaming show?
What?
A recap.
It needs to.
I know, man. All right, Sable. Yeah. So that one was the one that looked kind of like Journey and had the crazy art style, right?
Yeah, it not only did it look like Journey, but when the guy described it, where it was like you are a person wandering or across the desert, like it was, he described Journey. Like if you closed your eyes and saw no footage, he just described Journey to you, and then if you opened your eyes and looked at it, you were also seeing like a Journey game, but instead of pleasant graphics, it just gave you a migraine.
So the art style of it, I feel like it could have been if they had actually leveraged some of the technology, because I know they were going for the 24 FPS animation standard, which can work, but the problem is they tied it to extremely aliased footage. Like it was just jarring to look at, and especially when they went heavy on like the particle and precipitation effects, that's what made it hurt. Like it's because you have like multiple layers of this stuff, and it just pulls your immersion out of it. So I feel like they're gonna have to dial that in a bit, but it looked cool, especially if you're just looking to kind of chill. But at the same time, yeah, I feel like they went a little bit too artsy.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they were even referencing studio. Apparently, it's pronounced Ghibli. I've been saying Ghibli my whole life. I apologize. So yeah, that whole frame
Can
rate
you name some
choice.
of Studio Ghibli's movies?
Howl's
butcher their pronunciation.
Moving Castle thing. My Neighbor Totoro. Princess Mononoke.
We're done. You're done with the weeb stuff now.
Yeah, I feel like I own at least one or two others that I'm not thinking of off the top of my head. What else we got here? But yeah, the music was good. And it was by a band called Japanese Breakfast, which is great. It's like English breakfast, but not a tea, and delicious, and musical. So that was the takeaway there. Nice. Hard to look at, good to listen to. Then we got Star Citizen. That game's coming out sometime between now and after my grandchildren are born. Alpha 3.2 is coming soon, and we basically just kind of saw a trailer that I'm going to guess existed already.
So I've been following Star Citizen for a while. We've talked about it on the podcast. I suspect we're going to get the single-player experience in the next year or two. The Persistent Universe thing that they've been talking about, I'm going to say 2022 or something. It's a ways out. I don't really want to get into like everyone saying, "Oh, this game's never going to come out." But yeah, there's a whole.
I know it is. I just like it's way too easy to poke at it because it's been in development for a good chunk of time.
100% understand.
Yeah, it's just silly. And again, I would just like to reiterate for all of you out there that are bargain hunters, you can get almost all of the ships in Star Citizen for $27,000. Get it while it lasts.
Granted, you'll never be able to play all those ships.
That's like buying games on Steam sales, right? It doesn't matter. Yeah. It's on sale, so you have to get it. It's pretty much how it goes. We saw a little quick take on Don't Starve Hamlet coming December of this year. Don't Starve, looking good.
I felt like they updated the art style on it a lot. It looked really like it looked a lot more like three-dimensional without being three-dimensional. I feel like
it did look cool.
Yeah, and that one I have them, I just never play them. I don't know why. Probably because of that whole Steam sale thing.
Yeah, exactly. See, now you're talking my language. Yeah. Then we got two versions of The Walking Dead. Overkill's The Walking Dead, which is a new game that's basically like a first-person shooter. Kind of looks like What's Valve's game again?
Did Valve announce the game?
No, Valve's zombie game.
Oh, Left 4 Dead.
Left 4 Dead, yeah. It looked like that, but The Walking Dead. So basically it looked the same. Then we got Telltale's The Walking Dead game, which its final season is coming out this year, August 14th. We got to see the voice actress for Clementine. That was neato. That was about it, really. Did you ever play any of the Telltale ones? I played the first season of it. Did you get into?
I played the
into any of
first
that?
one or two with Lee in it.
Mhm.
I like them. I was gonna wait for them to just finish because I like binging through them.
That was my thing,
So,
yeah.
When the final one comes out, I'll probably just binge through all of them.
After that, we got what we couldn't decide how to pronounce, is either Noida or Noita. And the only note I have here is lots of pixels. I believe that might also be the one that was only red, white, and black, right?
No, Noida?
Yeah.
Noida was the magic roguelike game where they
Oh,
were like running
right.
through and doing all the crazy stuff with the magic, and it was synergizing with what was going on.
Yeah, yeah.
Like he was about to get swamped by fire, so he like made it rain on top of him.
Right. It looked interesting.
I like, for me, I'm getting to the point where I'm seeing games that are going like too retro. Like pixel art is cool and everything, but when you're starting to lose like that much fidelity because you want your character to only be like 8 pixels.
Yeah, I get what you're
Not
saying.
much.
Yeah, I'm following you on that one. I feel like that's just directly proportional to the size of the team working on the
Yeah.
game, though, right?
Yeah.
After that, we got the 2 Point Hospital, which is basically like the spiritual successor to Theme Hospital.
That game made my desk raise a few inches.
Yeah, that was a pretty wild experience, and with
'Cause
the
you can get
microphone
that on-
issues,
yeah. You can get that one made. That was Sean Plott's.
That was a
I am
shining
super
moment.
host.
You know,
Super
just-
host.
That was beautiful. It was a beautiful moment when the mic died. But yeah, it looked like a pretty fun game.
Yeah. You can actually get the original on GOG, so it's like definitely worth a play. It'll pretty much give you an idea of what 2 Point Hospital is going to be like.
Yeah, it looked good. I have monobrow cockroach hunting written
Yeah.
down. That was the thing. And it's coming this year as well. Some nondescript time this year.
I think like September or something.
Yeah, more than likely. So that was the thing. And yeah, it looked pretty good. You might want to go check it out. It's pretty funny. Some good humor in that. Then we got Realm Royale. Most people that are on Twitch would probably have already seen other people playing it. It's another Battle Royale game. This from Hi-Res Studios. And they basically have the look of Paladins or Fortnite without the Fortnite building and with upgradable items while the game is going, but it kind of creates a hold this point for X time while your shit upgrades type deal.
Yeah, effectively like creating objective points to get murdered on.
Yeah, it's people are relatively positive about it, but pretty much every battle royale game that's ever come out since the PUBG craze kicked off, everyone's been pretty much overwhelmingly positive for the first bit. So it's the honeymoon phase. We'll wait and see how it goes as time goes on. But for now, people are pretty positive about it, and we just get to see a little more of it. Looked like pretty much what I've been watching on Twitch. So take that for what you will. Then we got Ooblets, which is, my notes are, I have no idea what it is, but my girlfriend will love it.
Yep, I have no idea.
It was like a cutesy, maybe kind of like an Animal Crossing-ish slash Stardew thing kind of deal. I don't know. I actually couldn't piece together what the game was, but it definitely looks like something that your girlfriend will love to play. Then we got Anno 1800, so we're going backwards in time now with the Anno series. It looked like more Anno, but in the 1800s. And if you don't know what Anno is, it's pretty much a mission-based city builder thing. The last of which was heavily into the future, and now we've gone the other direction because apparently
Yeah, they had 2 or 3 that were in the future. They've had some that were in like ancient times, so they're kind of just all over the place.
they're picking a different period, and
But they
the
haven't been bad games. So.
No, definitely not. No, they've done quite well. So you can, if you're into the Anno series, that might be very exciting for you. Then we got another battle royale game, but this one was a curveball. This is one that nobody was seeing coming for sure, and the trailer for it was hilarious, and for obvious reasons, because this is a game called Rapture Rejects. Done basically, it's a cyanide and happiness video game battle royale from a like top-down isometric position, camera position. It kind of just looked like the other isometric shooters that we've had in the last couple of years pop up on Steam, like Hotline Miami and that kind of stuff. But I guess it's a battle royale, which is kind of wild. And the trailer, again, if you never play the game, just watch the trailer because it's the value is there in the trailer alone, without question. Would you play a Cyanide and Happiness battle royale game, Panic?
That would probably get me over my aversion for battle royale games in general. So yes.
Okay.
They've been like licensing that whole Cyanide and Happiness thing to a lot of different things. Like I played they were doing like a RPG one based in Cyanide and Happiness.
Really?
At PAX East that I played for a little while. So they're going deep on the games.
Yeah, for sure. And why not? It's a good property to do it with. You know, have a go at her. And then the last one that we spotted was Hitman 2, an extension of Hitman now that they've separated themselves from Square Enix. And it's coming out November 2018. It's going to include a co-op mode this time around, apparently. And we'll just kind of continue that episodic Hitman goodness, which has, from a critical perspective and otherwise, I guess, done quite well since they've gotten into this format. So good job with them, because Hitman's always been kind of a neat IP, and happy to see that they're still doing their thing.
Always been a fan of Hitman. I'm actually really happy when they kind of went episodic. It's like one of the few games that they kind of approach correctly with it. A lot of games just kind of make it a money grab, but Squeenix kind of did a really great job with it.
Yeah, for sure. Somebody's saying, I don't think this has episodic releases. Well, if that's the case, then you're blowing my mind. Either way, it looked pretty good. All I know is that I saw him throw a frying pan at somebody, which means PUBG Corp is probably going to try and sue them.
Well, they've been taking more of an episodic approach. Like, you usually will buy the game and then they'll release pieces of it over time in small chunks and stuff. It's more that you get a continuous thing.
Yeah, they keep the content rolling.
Yeah.
For sure. But whether it's episodic or not, it looked pretty good. I also saw Agent 47 slap somebody. Yeah, well, that was like the technical thing that they mentioned was the 2,000 people on screen almost, which is amazing. And then the frying pan, and then I also got to see him knock somebody out with the fish. So 10 points for all of those things.
He needs his omega-3, okay, and his fish oil, Adam.
That's right. Everyone needs it. You gotta just, it might be debatable if that's the best way of ingesting it, but still better than nothing.
Sometimes you just gotta be die.
That's right. That's what I always say. And sometimes you just gotta be done your wrap up, and that's what we're gonna do here with this wrap up for the PC gaming show. I have a svelte half an hour to try and do as much editing and uploading as humanly possible. So for those of you listening on the RSS feeds, if you want to see mine and Panic's reactions to the PC gaming show, you can check out youtube.com/Life'sAGlitchTV for that. And excuse me, we'll be live. Are you kicking it for Sony's as well, or are you going to be around?
I'll stick around. I'll probably be eating dinner around then, but I definitely am curious what Sony's got after everything Microsoft dropped.
Oh yeah, for sure. So we will have more then coming up in the not too distant future. So sit tight and enjoy your E3.
Peace.
All right, so I'll take that. All right, and for those of you guys watching on YouTube right now, thank you once again for watching this, and we will... What just fell on the ground? Oh, whatever, it's okay. Nothing expensive. We will be seeing you for the Sony show, and you'll be able to check out our reactions there, and if not, depending on when this goes up, it might still be happening. You can check us out, twitch.tv/technicalalpha, and watch the reactions live. Either way, thank you again for watching, and enjoy your E3.